The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Wait, I wish we just really had a moment. Are you being serious, Dicky, though?
I swear to God, I've been traveling. I was traveling today, and I'll tell you a great story, too, once you say who I am.
Yeah, first let's do this. Okay, It's Brian and Kenzie, Q101. Dicky Barrett, the legend, is in the studio.
Oh, legend, please.
You're Mighty Bosstones. You've heard him on Jimmy Kimmel as the announcer. You're one of those guys, to me, like a little bit like in a Henry Rollins world where you have your hand in everything.
I'm like more like Forrest Gump. I just end up places and do things, and someone says, do you want to do this? And I go, oh, all right, I can try that.
Yeah.
I'm unsuited and unqualified, but I'll give it a shot. Good morning, Chicago.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm so glad you're here playing that.
Seconds ago, you just blew the lid off something that I had no idea. OJ died. I did not know that. I know everybody's, veering off the road going, this idiot didn't know OJ died. I had no idea.
See, that's what's amazing that makes me jealous of your life in a way. That you are that just in other stuff.
Yes.
So you didn't sit there on Twitter or whatever. It happened yesterday right at the end of our show. So like 9:45-ish, it was announced yesterday.
I live sort of culturalist life in Arizona now, and I've been doing that for the last couple of years. But I think that I'm alert and aware, and I have access to the internet, and I
don't know if that's true.
I'm not that far off the grid, and there's a television set, but I did not know this. Do you know? All right, I'll tell you a pretty good story, and I'll try to make it as quick as possible.
You do take your time. If it's an OJ story, take your time.
So I never met OJ. But years ago, the Mighty Bosstones were on a record called Kiss My Ass. It was a tribute to Kiss that Gene Simmons put out himself. Okay, so if there's going to be Dickie, if there's going to be a tribute to Kiss, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And so Gene released this record, and the Mighty Bosstones were on it because we were on the same record label. And then there was going to be a press sort of junket where not even junket, I don't know what to call it, but me and Gene, because we had the single on that record, we're going to fly to various markets on the East Coast and promote the album together.
Yeah.
Which was strange. And I had never met Gene either at that time. And this is years ago, 90s. And in the morning, I got up very early, and much like I did this morning, and we're in New York City, and at my, I had an apartment in New York City at the time. And I was to get in this limo, go across town to a hotel, pick up Gene Simmons, and then we were going to start this press thing. Fly to Philly, I think, was the first place we were going to. And as I'm driving across town, the news came on the radio that OJ Simpson's wife had been murdered.
Right.
And I'm like, what's going on? Same thing. Hit with a ton of bricks. I'm like, oh, this is so strange. And it's going on, and OJ has not been located. We don't know where OJ is, but his wife, Nicole, and
Ron Goldman had been found murdered. And then Gene gets in, and I was like, oh, it's nice to meet you, Gene. How are you? Good morning and everything. Did you hear that O.J. Simpson's wife has been killed? And then Gene took a beat, and he goes, Dickie, OJ did it. I'm still trying to process everything. This is before the car chase. This is before, if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. Gene Simmons has solved the case within moments of, first thing he tells me, moments of meeting him. Oh, God.
And, so kind of mind-blowing. But so how did OJ pass away? Please catch me up to date here.
Okay, I want to make a joke. I want to say he was murdered.
Too soon, dude.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll get canceled later. He died of cancer at 76.
So it was something he was battling that we didn't know about?
I think so. He made his last tweet was in February talking about he had health issues, but he was good. He was doing good. And
he was really shouting down the rumors that he was in poor health. He kind of stayed lying until the very end because he had a Twitter video where he was like, hey, everybody's saying I'm in hospice. I'm OJ Simpson. I'm good to go. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
And he was not.
And he's not.
Well, if you know anything about me, I was kind of hoping it was the COVID shot. Oh, Dickie, complete.
How dare you?
Read the room.
Yeah, how dare you?
All right.
Yes.
May he rest in peace. He was a tremendous Buffalo Bill at one time, and as Chicago Bears fan, I'm sure most of your listeners could give a fat rat's patoot.
Yeah, well, here's the thing that's funny to me I opened the show with this today, is that every news organization come out and they go, coming up, we're going to talk about the complicated legacy of OJ Simpson.
Right. How do you approach it?
Well, but I'm also like, why can't you just say he was an incredible football player? He was one of the funniest guys in movies up until 94. And then he allegedly murdered his wife and a couple people.
He was beloved.
Yes.
Before, but yeah, and allegedly too, because, the verdict was what it was. We can't.
I think we got this one, though. I think this one's I think we know this one, I think.
You think we know it? Yeah.
Well, I was in a little deep dive yesterday. Like, there was like a 1 in 57 billionth chance that the blood sample could not be his.
Right.
That's pretty good odds to beat.
I would say so too, but I don't know. A Kardashian helped find him innocent.
That's right.
That's right. That's how we got the Kardashians.
And
then all the lawyers started dying.
Oh, is that right?
Well, he died, and then Johnny Cochran died. Pretty young. I mean, somewhat young. I think they were both pretty young. So two of those, those guys died.
I don't know if I want to send OJ a rest in peace or a burn in hell, but either way.
Yeah, I lean. Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning toward the burn in hell. That's just me. But
you're leaning that way.
Yeah, I'm humming that way. Yeah.
All right.
But this is so nice that we caught you up before your show tonight at the House of Blues.
Thank
Dickie.
you very much. Yeah. I wonder if that'll affect ticket sales.
It's not going to get canceled for an honor in any way like that.
A nation
in mourning.
A nation. Very interesting. I'm so glad I came. I was like, what am I doing getting up? What am I, these seem like nice guys. I'll go on the air with them. But,
right.
I would be walking around dumbfounded.
Well, yeah, you would have been embarrassed going in the House of Blues tonight if someone said something and you're like, he did? He's gone?
Yeah. I would play it off like, who cares?
Right.
I'd have a punk rock attitude.
Because how soon before a show do you get that punk rock attitude in full flow? I mean, it's probably here right now, too. I get it. It's on the air right now. But before a show, do you have to work yourself up?
Enter? I don't really know. Probably when I hit the stage, because up until then, I'm just a dopey dad that currently lives in Arizona and has had a Forrest Gump-like life.
Yeah, with no internet or TV or tinfoil hat on.
My tinfoil hat, no TV.
So, Dicky Barrett tonight with a Defiant. Of course, you remember from the Mighty Bosstones at House of Blues. The Me Too and Gimme Gimmes are there as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great show. And I
can't wait to tell them about OJ. Really?
They're not going to believe it.
What do no one told me? I have people that text me the dumbest stuff.
I'll tell you what.
I had a text thread going about the Boston Celtics losing last night. That was such a deep dive into it. And
man.
No one happened to mention OJ.
Tragic.
Mind-blowing.
More with Dicky Barrett. We'll have tickets for the show again tonight, too. Of course, the Mighty Bosstones. You recognize his voice. He's in the studio, and on this song, it's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
There's Mighty Bosstones. Dicky Barrett right here in the studio with us. And that song went to number 1 on the Billboard charts, I believe, in 1997. I wish I had it pulled up. Billboard has a stupid paywall now. So I'm not going to pay for that to see those old charts. I'm just not going to do it. I pay enough damn subscriptions.
Don't. And for what? What are you going to learn? Where the Bosstones charted?
Well, I was trying to figure out.
You can live without that information, dude. I went for a day without knowing about OJ.
But I was trying to figure out what, pop artists, let's say, you beat in that era. Was it?
All of them. Think of the biggest ones of the 90s.
I'm trying to think of late, 97. I'm trying to think. It wouldn't be Madonna at that time, could it be?
No, that's after Madonna.
Although she had some hits around then, though. Like Jennifer Lopez, or who am I looking at, Case?
Hold on, I'm trying to get to stereogum.com. Does a great series on all the number 1 songs in history.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get to there, but our internet is alarmingly slow this morning. I don't know how we have slow internet.
Like Dickie's out in Arizona?
Once again, I blame OJ. At that time, the Bosstones we were part of a movement that was a sort of a real reaction to grunge, and grunge was a real reaction to hair metal and heavy metal of that thing. So,
right.
Once Kurt Cobain died, and things got a lot less grungy, and the pendulum swung in a way that people wanted to sort of feel good. And although we've been making Bosstones music for about 15 years at that point, and we did what we did, and it wasn't like we said, okay, try to predict a trend. It was time now for the Bosstones and Green Day or Rancid or all that whole ska, and then that swing movement, and people just wanted to be uplifted.
Right.
So
after about a good 5 years of grunge, let's say, dominating at that point, and
yeah, I think people wanted to
dance,
take off their flannel shirts and put on their two-tone shoes.
Well, I remember you, the Bosstones playing, it was probably early 2000s, playing a Q101 out down in Tinley Park, at whatever they called it back then. And I had an intern that I brought you guys on stage, and you're just killing it. And my intern said, you know what? I want to go out there and dance with that guy, meaning you. And I go, well, you're probably going to get thrown out. I don't know what's going to happen. But he goes like, nah, I got it. He's never seen you guys. Like, he's like 17 years old, this kid. And he goes out there right from the side stage, and I'm sure you're used to people coming over the barricade, maybe getting on stage.
I encourage it.
That's the House of Blues tonight.
At that time, I insisted on it.
Yeah, the House of Blues tonight. Do what you got to do.
Yeah,
we're great security over there, though. I don't want anybody getting hurt. But he just walked from the side of the stage, and I remember you looking over, going like, well, what the hell's this now?
Yeah.
Because no one walks from the side of the stage. You're supposed to be able to work here.
I have a strict dance with every 17-year-old intern dude that approaches me. So that's always been my policy.
Well, you did it. If you danced for about, I guess, a good 7-8 seconds.
We danced the night away.
And he realized he wasn't getting thrown off stage.
Right.
And he panicked. So he ran full speed over the barricade, the stage dive, thinking people would catch him, and no one did.
And that was outdoors on the pavement.
It was. And
that kid is no longer with us.
You know what? I haven't heard from him. It's been a minute.
That's the last you saw of him?
Yeah, AJ, if you're out there, man, hit me up, bro, because it was a great. Then he got thrown out, and he texted me. He goes like,
"It sounded like you wanted conflict."
Yeah,
the dancing was secondary.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, no one's attacking me?
Yeah, and he kind of said like, "Well, now he's like, I can't get back in now." And I go, "Well, I know you're gone now, but you have a moment, so remember that."
Those were the days.
Yeah, moments are better than
the 90s. This kid doesn't remember. Case doesn't know what we're talking about.
No, he doesn't.
I was born in 1999.
What?
I know.
Oh my God! I've lived long enough. This is it.
We had Art Alexakis from Everclear in the studio a few months ago.
I love Artie.
He told me that he hates me because I'm so young.
Yeah,
I have to walk around with that now.
He's a terrific guy.
Oh, he's the best.
He really is a nice guy.
He then proceeded to tell us about his 4 divorces after that.
And how he wouldn't get a prenup. He never learned his lesson.
Yeah, after all that, he never learned that.
He's a very trusting man. We lived in Pasadena. He lived very close to me in Pasadena, and he was super, super good to the Bosstones. Real nice. Stays in touch. I'll hear from him to this day. And I call him Artie just because I'm from Boston, and that's the kind of dumb stuff we do. And he's like, Dickie, you're the only guy that I would let call me Artie.
Oh.
And he said it's because I like the way it sounds with the accent.
Because the voice, the accent. By the way, James just texted in and said the Mighty Bosstones were awesome in the movie Clueless.
Thank you very much. Well, interesting story.
Yeah.
Very glad James brought that up because our scene in Clueless, I'll make this as quick as possible, but we were having tax problems. And this is before we had the Impression That I Get, that you just heard here. And so we had to do something. Our manager hadn't been paying taxes. We had to do something. And Amy Heckerling, who made the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High that we all loved, out of nowhere offered us the opportunity to be in the movie she was making. And we didn't know it was called Clueless. And if we did, we'd probably, it's about us. And so she said, I'm making a movie and I would like this band to play at a party scene, at a frat, and they'll be in the movie. And then we're like, well, what's it about? And she offered us a lot of money. What's it about? And then she said, it's about rich Beverly Hills kids. And I said, I don't know if I can do that. And, said, well, Dickie, you have these tax problems. So we agreed to do it. And so I was miserable, and I'm like, I'm sure I'm selling out. Why am I in this movie? I'm a, 27-year-old Boston punk rock guy. I have no business here. And while that was going on, right across the street, in a building directly across the street from the warehouse where we were filming Clueless, was the OJ Simpson trial.
Unbelievable.
And all things full circle. So, young Case, those were the days.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Clueless, the Bosstones, OJs? How 90s is that?
That's as 90s as it gets.
That's about as 90s
That sounds
as it
lovely.
You missed it.
I know,
You
man.
missed it.
Sorry, I wish I would have been born
I
earlier.
will tell you, be proud of our guy Case because he goes to every punk hardcore show every night of the week, and he still does his show and gets up at 3 in the morning.
Are you going to be there tonight?
I will.
Yeah.
House of Blues tonight. I was at the Salt Shed last night for a guy named Jeff Rosenstock, who's heavily inspired by ska. He still puts out ska
Yes,
records.
I know it. Yes.
Yeah, he was delightful. I'll be at House of Blues tonight. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Right. You like Me First and the Gimme Gimmes?
I do. That's
they're,
why. Yeah.
They're a great band, right?
It's going to be a great
Who's your
lineup.
favorite band?
My favorite band of all time or
Yes,
ska band?
all time.
This is going to surprise
Of the
you now.
short time you've been alive, who's your favorite band?
This is gonna surprise you.
It
now.
is?
My favorite band of all time is the Smiths.
Okay.
I'm a Morrissey diehard. I'm a
That's
Morrissey
pretty
obsessive.
good.
Yeah.
I like that.
I love him. I mean,
To this day.
he's a weird guy, but I
Yeah.
love him. Yes.
I don't know. They call me a weird guy.
I like you too. You're a nice
Thank you
guy.
so much. I'd like to be in your top 10 by the time I leave here.
Well, we can do that because you're nice to me, and that's really all I want bands to do is be nice to me.
Okay, your favorite ska band.
I like the band Skank and Pickle. Do you know Skank
Oh
and
my
Pickle?
gosh, I love
Yeah,
Skank
exactly.
and Pickle.
I really like them.
Mike Parks.
Yes,
and-
exactly.
and-
Mike
yes.
Park of Asian
Oh,
Man
yes,
Records,
yes.
who Chicago
Early
Connection.
on, we played with Skank and Pickle.
Yes.
Skank and Pickle was doing their thing in the early days of the Mighty Bosstones. Wow, you went deep.
Well, because Mike Park, so for those that don't know, he's the guy who helped produce the first 2 Alkaline Trio records. He's put out a bunch of Smoking Popes records.
Yeah.
So even though he's from the Bay Area, he has all of these ties to Chicago bands. He's really a huge part of Chicago music,
Yeah.
but he has this small label that he runs out of his mom's garage in San Jose, California.
Yeah. Brian just left the room, by the way.
I
was
Case.
gonna say-
and most people tuned out.
Yeah, I go, okay, here we go. Here comes the
Skank
jerk.
and Pickle.
Here's the jerk off session. I can feel it right now.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q 101.
All right, it's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we have Dicky Barrett in the studio, the Mighty Bosstones, and his new band, the Defiant, playing the House of Blues tonight, which we will give away tickets for in just a couple seconds here. And we
Talking sports. We're talking being dads.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your new daughter.
Thank you. 17 months.
That's pretty new.
It's really new.
So you're not sleeping.
I'm sleeping now. She sleeps all night now, pretty much. She was coughing last night. I was like, "What's going on here?" But I don't know. I can't. You know what are you gonna? Like She coughs in her sleep, and I kind of like go in there and I think she's choking, and I'm kind of like, my wife goes like, "Go to bed. It's fine." She's just
That's
coughing.
your job is to keep her alive.
That's right.
So you got to be diligent.
Yeah, you got to call my wife and tell her.
Don't encourage him. He is a helicopter parent to the
Is
worst
he?
degree.
I'm a
Oh,
drone
it's
parent.
too much?
You know what I did this week is, so she goes to daycare, and I said to my wife before I went to bed, because I have to pass out and get up early for this, I go, so when you drop her off, tell them to make sure that she doesn't go outside during the eclipse.
Right.
Because she doesn't know not to look up.
Trump-like.
I can look up at it, but no one else can.
It's a good eclipse. It's the best eclipse. I look at the greatest eclipse I've ever seen.
And she said, I'm not going to say that. They're going to know. And I go, they're not going to know. They're not going to know because they don't know what I know, that she can't look up at it, and she might just look up there and you want a blind daughter? Is that what you want?
Right.
And she goes, just tell him your husband's crazy, and he said to say this.
No, you're not crazy. Dad, you're right on the money.
So she did it. She went and asked and goes like, hey, I just want to make sure you guys aren't taking her outside in the eclipse. And they gave her this kind of like, we know. We're not letting them outside during the eclipse. I go, and then she felt like she looked like an idiot. And I'm like,
There's
well,
nothing better than daughters, though, right?
oh, it's the best.
And it just gets better. I promise you that. And then I think I'm not there yet. And I had my kids at an age that I'm way too old to have these kids. But at 50, I had, me and my wife had our first girl.
Oh, congratulations.
Lily Annabelle. And I just loved it. And before that, I was like, I don't care. What do I care? Is it going to be a boy or a girl and everything?
Right.
But once I had the girl, it was like, oh, this is so good. I'm so glad to have her. And I guess when she gets to be 17, it's going to be a nightmare. But at that point, I'll be 85 years old. So I don't give a.
Yeah, that's what my brother said. He goes, wait till she's 13 and hates your guts.
That's what people kept saying to me. Is like, dude, you're in trouble when in 20 years. I'm like, she's in trouble when I'm in 20 years. You think I'm going to fight her boyfriends? Get out of the way, old man. I'm here to see your daughter.
You're like, oh, because she's in the back.
Yeah.
Where's my pills?
So I have two daughters. I have
Damn.
one that's in 6th grade and one that's in 2nd grade. And I said that not that long ago to Jimmy Kimmel. He's like, how old are the girls now? And I go, one's in 6th grade and one's in 2nd grade. He goes, you don't know how old they are, do you? And I go, I've never been very good at math, Jimmy. Give me some.
And people may not, of course, be aware that you were on there for almost 20 years as the announcer.
20 years I was the announcer for Jimmy Kimmel Live. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was that like? Is there any like story stuff or
It
behind
was
the scenes
awesome.
thing?
I would have went home. I don't have to stick around places I don't want to be. I loved it. I mean, I expected it to last about 10 minutes.
Yep.
Because at that time there wasn't that many. There was a lot of those people trying out. I think, Chevy Chase had a talk show. Magic Johnson had a talk show.
That's right.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, all these different people had, and I didn't think that the guy from the Man Show's talk show was going to be on as long as
25
and I certainly didn't think I was
years,
going to be the Ed McMahon of that for 20 years.
God, what a run!
It was fun, and I liked it. And I'm still friends with Jimmy to this day. But anyway, I was going to tell you, in order to do that, I lived in California. So in living in California, being the old dad is not all of us were old dads. Everybody at drop off and pick up were older guys. And then my wife got pregnant a second time. And at that time, I'm still thinking, if it's a boy, fine. But as I was telling you off the air, it's like the Barrett bloodline. There's no real reason for that to continue. It's a family of underachievers, and me being the, pinnacle of it. It's
Star of the Family's a nice role.
We've peaked. I think though. I think that we've peaked. So anyway.
Are you familiar with the song "Impression I Get"? Number one on the charts in '97.
Well, there you go. And
you do that in your Christmas card letter to the family?
30 years from now, no one's going to know anything about that. So I was going, girl will be okay. And then I was watching an extreme sports show on ESPN where they're jumping motorcycles and bikes and skateboarding and all this going on. And they pan down. Now, my wife's pregnant with our second child. They pan down on a fence. And all of these 17-year-old dudes holding Monster Energy drinks are like yelling at the camera. And I was like, I want a girl. I don't want any of that in my house. That doesn't need to. I don't want to be challenged by those guys. I don't want somebody to have my arm behind my back telling me the Bosstones suck. I hate you, Dad.
Case has a peach monster over there, the peach-flavored Monster Energy drink right there. He's one of those guys.
That's exactly what I don't want Case in my house.
Yeah, but
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
You're drinking Monster Energy drink.
I am right now. Yeah.
You are a cliche. Is that a prop?
No, it's not.
Dicky might talk about Monster Energy drink.
Hey, just in case, go get a Monster. No, this is my ultra peachy keen Monster Energy drink.
Yeah, Monster is tough. The peach part is a little.
I know.
A lot of people have questions about me.
Get the original green can, for God's sakes.
That creates a balance that I like, Case.
I have a different guy.
I know he's going on tour after you guys had a little punk rock talk there. I'm sure you guys are going to go on tour together in case, adopt
I think we're
Case.
going to try to reunite Skank and Pickle and go out on the road
Here's
together.
a very weird thing. The guy that is actually on tour with us is probably your age. He's floating around Chicago right now because he dropped me off. And his name is Casey.
What?
Really? Okay, so
I
it's
promise
KC.
you.
Yeah, but not Case.
No.
Because this is Case like my
So
government
it's not short
name.
for Casey?
No, it's not.
C-A, all right.
It's Case like suitcase, briefcase, or bookcase.
Is that your radio name?
No. It's my real name.
Your parents named you Case?
My parents aren't even like hippies or anything. They're not alternative or weirdos.
Right.
They just name me Case. They say they got it from a book, but I don't believe that because I've never seen my parents read.
There's no one named Case.
I know.
What book are they reading?
They wanted to get out of the hospital quick, and they forgot the H.
Exactly. I think
That's what it was. I mean, seriously. So tonight at the House of Blues, Dicky Barrett's band, the Defiant, is playing tonight.
Please come see us.
Me First and the Gimme Gimmes on that bill as well. And your band has like the Offspring's Pete Parada in it, and Smash Mouth's Greg Camp.
Yes. It's 90s punk rock supergroup.
Yeah.
Am I close enough to the mic, Case?
Now you are. Now
I
you're
think you
good.
sound great.
Sorry.
No,
I'm
keep on doing your
way
thing.
too casual and comfortable with you.
He's
guys.
not the technical director. It's he's not the one that asks.
I don't care, Dickie.
But we have some tickets for the show. So let's give them out to caller 10 right now, 312-591-8300.
Can I answer those phones?
You want to answer the calls?
I want to hear them.
Okay. Well,
Can we do that?
Yeah, you want to do it real quick here?
Yeah, let me screen one. We'll get them on the air.
Screen one. Just
Caller number
what?
10.
You know what? Or just do first person if they're that diehard. Let's do
Okay.
the first person through. And Dickie can quiz you to see if you deserve the tickets, I guess. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I just want to know what's out there, who's interested in me. Hello, Dickie. I'm 75 years old. I'd love to see your band tonight. Is Case going to be there?
So The band's on at the House of Blues. That's my favorite venue, by the way. I love it so
It's
much.
still great, right?
And what is it? Just while we're waiting to get him to screen somebody first, so they don't say F word on the air or whatever.
No one screened me.
Well, we know you're a professional.
Thank you.
What is it like your best Chicago memory overall, like playing here? Was there one that stands out or something wild that happened that we don't know about?
So many.
Yeah,
I just rolling into town this morning because we're staying outside of town. We arrived yesterday, rehearsed last night, and just rolling into town, I got super excited. I love the city. It's always been so great to me. It's always been fun to be here. I'm lucky that I was in a touring band that was able to come through Chicago.
Right.
So just so many over at the venue near the Cubby Bear. We played at the Cubby Bear. It was insane.
Yeah.
Insane. In the earliest days of the Mighty Bosstones. Who we got? Someone on the air? Someone on the line?
Got Lindsay here. Lindsay, Hoy, you're on with Dicky Barrett.
Hello, Lindsay.
Hi, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an art teacher.
You're an art teacher. How old are your students?
Right now, it's kindergarten through 8th grade. So
Oh, that's fun.
very interesting.
After 8th grade, that's when they start to get unruly, right?
Actually, these ones...
It's earlier now?
It's worse now. Yeah, I used to teach at a high school, and they were so much better.
Oh, really?
Oh, so high school people, they're the unrulies, and the younger ones are better? Oh, no.
No,
that's
worse.
Otherwise.
Junior high is
Yeah, the
worse
opposite.
now.
Oh.
Lindsay, what
Yeah.
are they doing? Are they doing like TikTok challenges in your classroom? Are they running amok?
Some of them are trying to do the TikTok Fortnite dances, and then I have others that are just being physically abusive to one another.
Oh, jeez.
And then some of them are still going to the bathroom in their pants. You got a lot of range. Kindergarten to 8th grade, you really have a...
Sounds like a bunch of OJs in there. God.
Yeah. Hopefully I won't hear them on the news later.
God.
Are you
I
a
hope
ska
not.
punk fan?
Huh?
Are you a ska punk fan?
Yeah. More the punk side, but yes.
Okay, good. So you actually want me first in the Gimme Gimme tickets.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take another caller. I'm kidding, Lindsay. I would love to see you at the show. Courtesy of the Defiant.
Yeah,
Here.
that's right.
Yeah.
Remember who got these tickets, Lindsay?
Yeah.
Yes.
You show up early. You check out the Defiant.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, Lindsay, hang on. We'll get your information there. And Dicky, man, thanks for coming in, man. It's so fun.
I love being here. Thank you so much. You guys are great.
Dicky Barrett.
Thank
tonight,
you, Brian. Thank you, Case.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay.
That's right. So tonight at the House of Blues, few tickets still left. Go to the show and see Dicky Barrett and enjoy it from Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.